Hi, everybody. I'm Bryan Mudd, a fan of South Plains politics. Here's your talking points for this week. The governor gives the go-ahead for Texas bars to reopen, but many bar owners are unhappy as ever over the rules of the new plan. And a lot of local business folks unhappy with the Lubbock City Council over the impact fees we've been talking about. And this week, that debate went inside council chambers.
From the studios of KAMC Television in Lubbock, your local election headquarters. This is Talking Points with Bryan Mudd.
Hey, thanks for joining us, everybody. Also this week, the raw numbers. A lot of numbers will be spinning between now and Election Day, mainly poll numbers. We were interested more in registered voter numbers for Lubbock County, and now that the deadline's come and gone. At last check, the Lubbock County Elections Office had 181,704 voters registered to do their duty in the coming election. They're still adding, but that's up over 8% from 2016. 100,000 plus voted in that election. It would sure be nice to see a higher turnout than just 60% of you this time. And by the time we speak again, early voting will have started already. Can you believe that? The first day is Tuesday the 13th. Remember, it's extended this time to give folks more options because they expect a lot of long lines and worries about COVID. Again, Lubbock County officials reminding us no straight ticket voting option, but you can bring any material you need to help make your choices, including a sample ballot that you can get at votelubbock.org. But if all that sounds like a bit too much, or maybe you're a bit older and really worried about COVID or something, elections officials are ready to send you a mail-in ballot. But not everyone can vote by mail. Our John Engel breaks down the rules.
To vote by mail in Texas, your application must be received by October 23rd. Mail the signed copy to your county clerk, not the Secretary of State.
This will be the biggest election ever, and we will have more by-mail ballots than ever before in any election.
To be eligible to vote by mail in Texas, you must be 65 years or older, sick or disabled, out of the county on Election Day and during early voting, or confined to jail. Attorney General Ken Paxton has fought efforts to expand mail-in voting to all Texans during the pandemic. But the Texas Supreme Court ruled it's up to voters, not election officials, to determine if they fit the state's requirements.
Individual voters are going to make their own decisions. They're going to check those blanks, and the chance of being prosecuted for a violation of the election code is very, very slim.
It's important to get your application and eventually your ballot to the county clerk as quickly as possible, with growing concerns about the post office handling the volume and elections officials preparing for a potential delay to result.
I think we have more potential to not have those answers on election night. I don't know if we're there yet, but I know we're getting incredibly close.
Once you have a ballot, it has to be received by Election Day. It'll be counted if postmarked by 7 p.m. on Election Day and received by 5 p.m. the following day.
A little education from John Engel there. Let's talk one final time now before the election with District 84 candidate Democrat John Gibson. Good to see you again.
Good to be here, Bryan.
All right, campaign finish line in sight here finally, win or lose. What's the one thing you'll remember most about this campaign process as a whole?
All the people I've talked to, it's been really great talking to the voters. The voters in the South Plains are such engaged voters. People really take an active part in knowing what the issues are, and it's just been great talking to them and getting to know people.
Your opponent won in his last re-election bid with 80-something% of the vote or something like that, which is a lot of ground to make up for anyone. How does that happen for you? What gets you over that sort of mountain that you would have to do voting-wise?
For District 84?
Yeah.
I mean, yeah. To be honest with you, I've never considered that there was a mountain. When you talk to the voters, you certainly don't see that there's any kind of big obstacle. You get out there, you talk to the voters, and let people know where you stand on the issues, and that's all you can do.
And have people taken well to your sort of response to the campaign and the issues that are out there?
Oh, absolutely. We're all about everybody coming together and putting aside the petty politics that have been in the past, and focusing on the future and making a change to enact policies that will push Lubbock forward instead of staying with policies of the past.
Sure.
So, yeah.
And you've obviously worked for local Democrats before your own campaign even. What does a get out the vote plan look like for Democrats in Lubbock, Texas in 2020?
This election, if you need any kind of motivation to get you to the polls, then we need to have a talk. This is a very polarized election. I would say that we're using the same typical traditional things that we use every single campaign, but also we're seeing from people that people are highly motivated to get to the polls.
Yeah. Do they worry, as some have, about longer lines in early voting, and maybe they put it off for a while, or worries about COVID and things like that? Do you have to alleviate some of those sort of pressures on people?
There have been a lot of questions about what's the process this year, what's going to happen. There's a lot of need to educate people and let them know that that early voting is still going to be taking place, where you can go down and you can do the traditional early voting. You can show up on the poll day. There's been questions about mail-in voting, but mostly it's just questions about what will the process be, because frankly, the governor has been kind of up in the air, wishy-washy with what the policy would be, and then we had lawsuits about it and whatnot. So now we know early voting starts on Tuesday.
On Tuesday. If you win, have you thought specifically about a list of goals for your time in the State House? What would you want to prioritize there?
Well, number one, I'm going to prioritize Lubbock, because that's my focus. No, we've talked before, it's going to be jobs, it's going to be education, it's going to be health care. We want to pass Medicaid reform. We want to stand up to the governor and say we need oversight of the PPP, or the CARES Act money that's Lubbock's getting shortchanged on, and we haven't had the strong representation to stand up for that. Those types of things. We need to raise the minimum wage. We need to look at no-knock warrants. There's just a whole host of things, combined with the fact that we have to address this pandemic. So
definitely so. And you mentioned the CARES Act money. A lot of that's still held up at the state level. Have you talked to folks? What's the movement about there? Why haven't we seen more of this specifically come in this direction?
Well, to be honest with you, the people that we've talked to locally, people are frustrated that we haven't had Republicans stand up to the governor and say, we need that money distributed to our rural counties as well. And Lubbock is considered a rural county because we're under 500,000 in terms of the city population. And so people have been frustrated. What good does it do to elect Republicans if they're not going to go and get some benefit from it from a Republican governor? And so I've been saying that, no, you can elect me and I will stand up to the governor.
Last thing you want voters to know about you, your leadership qualities, this race, the election cycle, it's what?
It's that, as I said before, I will stand up for Lubbock, and I'll put Lubbock first. That's what I'll be that's what I'll be elected to do, and that's what I intend to do as your next state representative.
So interesting. All right, John Gibson, we've had him on a couple times, and a lot of people have been very interested to hear what he had to say. House District 84 candidate on the Democrat side. Good luck to you.
Thank you.
Congratulations on a lot of work. We'll see what happens.
Thanks. Appreciate it.